Hi, welcome back to the 6th episode of Lists, a podcast where we count down our top picks in a variety of categories as a springboard into deeper or dumber conversations about art, media, and popular culture. My name is Colby Cuppernell. I'm a writer and English teacher and our resident expert on all things literary.
And I'm Scott Cassidy. I'm a filmmaker, screenwriter, and our expert on all things cinematic.
Indeed you are. And
all right.
Just if I'm chuckling to myself here, it's because as we were recording that intro, Scott typed into our script, which is a shared Google Doc, a little note on my bio that, I'll just put it this way, he tried to Ron Burgundy me for all of you, and yeah, that didn't succeed, but came very close.
Yeah, that was take 2. I almost got you.
You really did. You almost got me. I came so close to reading it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm Colby Cuppernell, writer. Almost said it. Oh, so close. I would have had it on recording for the end of time. It would have been great.
I mean, if you want, I can do a second take of it and go ahead and read it.
No, it's all right.
It would be artificial, it's no good.
Yeah.
It's got to be organic. You almost had me.
All right, so here we are. Off to a polished and professional start.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, way to get us going on a...
Yeah, I know.
Whatever. It wouldn't be us.
So anyway, welcome to Lists. This is our top 10 movies that made you cry.
Yeah, which my wife told me, when I told her that was the topic, she goes, "You can't do that. You don't cry." So, yeah.
Apparently you missed.
I missed. That's what it is.
Yeah. If you missed the end of last episode, go back and get that story.
Yeah, I'll tell you about, that's where you hear about the misting. But yeah, crying's just, It's not my physiological reaction to sadness.
No, that's true for most robots. All right.
I'm a very sensitive, emotional person who just happens not to cry.
Are you? Are you really?
I think so.
Yeah, no.
I feel a lot of rage.
Well, that's a certain emotion, yeah. But before we get into our top 10 movies that made us cry or missed or whatever, do we have any feedback or anything to go over from last episode?
I think, we've been getting some pretty good feedback. I've heard some things about the top 10 books that you read in high school. We have some people who've checked them out. And so as it turns out, Wuthering Heights, definitely not everyone's cup of tea, but
that one got a really? You made me read this type of response? But that's all right.
To be fair, Wuthering Heights was barely my cup of tea. The language is true. It's a battle to get through, man. Yeah. It's just the style of the time was wordy.
This is true.
Yeah.
I have a little catch up. If you remember at the beginning of last episode, talking about our top 10 TV comedies, I talked about how Emily and Catastrophe. And anyway, I'm happy to report that we are almost finished with season 2 of Catastrophe.
Really? What do you think?
I like it. It's good so far. Maybe not great, but very good.
Okay. I can see that. I
was really thrown off. There was a humongous time jump in between season 1 and 2. Really threw me off.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, they do some things like that. It's kind of weird.
They really kind of just drop you right down into it. It's like, here's these people at 100. And took me a while to catch up. But the most important thing for a TV comedy, I have to say, is I am laughing a lot. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. It's also got that emotional component too, I think.
Yeah, we were watching the show, my wife and I, and it's like written by and co-created by these two people who are playing a couple who in the show have sex with each other quite a lot. And so we were like, oh, they're for sure a couple in real life, right? And we looked it up. Nope. No, they're not. They're both married to other people.
Yeah, I thought the same exact thing. I was like, well, that for sure, because they write the show, and that's kind of a stupid thing to assume, I guess. I don't know, but I mean,
I guess
they created this show together and they write it together, so naturally, I assumed they're sleeping together. But you and I created a podcast together, and alas, we are not. So,
well, just keep holding out hope.
Oh man. Yeah, well,
but anyway,
sorry,
yes.
buddy.
So I'm watching Catastrophe with my wife, and things are good at home now again.
Oh,
and the show is funny.
Good. Oh, I'm glad to hear that you're liking it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So speaking of,
what of my stuff that I've recommended on this podcast have you watched or read or listened
to? Let's see. Oh, I know that. Wow. I know there is one. Wow. I know there is one. Hold on.
This is hurting my feelings.
Hold on, there's got to be one. There's got to be one. Crap.
Well, I see how it is.
No.
All right. Well, my thought was, if we're asking our listeners to check out some stuff, especially the sticker picks,
it's got to be.
If you or I haven't seen the others, we should definitely make a point to do that and maybe, talk about it here in the pod, right?
I think that's a good idea. I think that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't believe I haven't. You know what? I just started. Here's why I haven't. Because I just started Hulu's new show on Wu-Tang.
Oh.
And it's pretty good, man. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I actually heard it's pretty good.
I'm liking it. It's got the rags to riches cliches in it, but they got a really interesting story. It's well done.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So you're a terrible friend.
I'm going to get
Moving
my
on.
Wu-Tang in there.
Well, that's true. You do love the Tang.
Well, oh, God. That's going to be a pull quote. If you hear that out of context, that's going to sound bad.
Yeah. That is.
Becky did get a little, just a teensy bit upset that I did not mention that I heard about Fleabag from her, which I don't remember, but, obviously.
Nice job of the apology.
I'm going to go with the correct thing to do here and say, if she said it, then it must be true.
Wow. So
there you go. I apparently.
We'll see how that plays out for you.
I think now that, I've had a day or two since she told me that to think about it. I believe she was 2 episodes into season 1, and she's going to correct me again. Yeah, I think she was a couple episodes into season 1 and told me hey, we need to watch this together. You would really like it. I could be completely wrong. Maybe she finished that entire first series. But I do know for a fact she did not watch the second one without me. We watched that together.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah.
Good deal. All right. Are we ready to move on to this week?
Yeah, I think we're ready.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break and then let's do that.
You're listening to Lists. This podcast is infinitely more fun when we get to interact with you. Send us your lists. Tell us when you agree or disagree with ours. Send us ideas for topics you want us to do. Join the conversation. You can reach us directly by emailing us at liststhepod@gmail.com. That's liststhepod@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at liststhepod. You can always find every episode of this podcast, links to all our social media, polls, links, and other fun stuff on our website, listthepodcast.com. And now back to our top 10 movies that made us cry or missed.
All right, so here we are, our top 10 movies that made us cry. I am very interested to see what you came up with.
I feel like I probably similar to what you felt like with the books one, where I just feel like yours is going to be a lot more impressive and distinguished than mine.
Oh.
And I never feel like that with you.
I see. That's okay. Well, this time that's probably actually going to happen. Unfortunately for you on the books list, mine was still better somehow. But anyway.
Dude, you had the Scarlet Letter on there.
Yeah, it's great. You had Wuthering Heights. That's been already eviscerated by listeners.
I had a couple of colleagues. I'm not going to say any names, but who were less than impressed with the Grapes of Wrath.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, look, everybody's got their era of literature they like, fine. Right?
Sure.
But yeah, I think it
mostly disagree from here.
Mostly, it was the little interludes, the things between the main plot that got them, which I can absolutely see being a turnoff. But
yeah, sure.
Still, anyway, I stand by my pick.
Okay. Well, so I have to say, I was doing a little research for this pod. It took me a long time to get this down to top 10.
How many honorable mentions do you have? Like 52?
More than 10. I have more than 10 honorable mentions. And it was very hard to whittle this down.
You know what you should do?
Put it in some sort of order.
You should put a post of the things that didn't make the list up on the...
Yeah, okay. On our social,
I think people would appreciate that. The things that didn't make your cut but are still cry-worthy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's some good cries in there.
People like to have a good sob, man.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was researching all of them, just for this pod. And so I did that yesterday and earlier today. And it's like, oh, did that really make me cry? Let me quickly go. And I type in the name of the movie and like keyword from the scene into YouTube. There it is. And fire it up. And so basically I've spent the last 2 days making myself cry watching these clips. I'm sobbing at my desk to YouTube clips. So I guess I chose well because they were making me cry all day.
Yeah, YouTube also makes me cry, except it's more all of the people that watch videos about how the earth is flat.
Oh, well, that's a different type of cry.
Oh, yeah.
That's I fear for the fate of the world type of cry.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess without any further ado, we should start this thing.
Yeah, we've had plenty of ado, so we should start it.
Yeah, all right. Well, I went first last time, so I think it's your turn to start us off.
All right. I'll get us started with number 10. Top 10 movies that made me cry, missed. I got kind of a curveball here.
Oh, yeah. All right.
My number 10 is actually my list's sticker pick for the week.
Oh, we're getting the sticker already.
Yes.
What is that again?
So list sticker pick, if you're just kind of tuning in now for the first time, each week, Scott and I will put our lists sticker on the item, the media, whatever you want to call it, that we most recommend people check out. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the one we think is the best of everything we did, because Becky did say to me, she said, well, wouldn't that just be your number one every week? Which, I mean...
No, I usually try to pick things that I think are maybe underseen that I want people to discover.
That's exactly how I think about it. Yep.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
It's just kind of really think that you should check this out, and I don't think that many people have type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my number 10 is my sticker pick for the week. Slap the sticker on it.
All right.
You ready? So
yeah.
Obviously it didn't rise very high, but and you'll know why in a minute.
Made you cry a little bit. Okay.
I don't know about that, but missed.
Made you missed.
Yes. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
It's a 1996 movie directed by Ridley Scott. I'm wondering if you know right away what it is.
96 directed by Ridley Scott?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm
maybe not.
I'm willing to wager that you actually have not seen this movie.
That's possible.
And I believe, I can guarantee it's the only movie on my list you haven't seen. I know that. I actually know that for a fact. I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
I have seen a lot of movies. Yeah. This is fair.
But I don't think you've seen this one. If you have, then I'm going to be really excited because we could talk about it.
Okay, sure.
All right.
What is it?
So 1996, Ridley Scott. My dad took me to see this, and I know my brother was there. I'm not sure if my sister was there. But anyway, in 96, I would have been, what was that, like 12?
Yeah, 12, 13.
Yeah. So, and it was the summer, so probably it would have been 12. So I remember going to see this movie with my dad, and it was very emotionally powerful. I'm not sure how emotionally powerful it would be as an adult. But anyway, it stars Jeff Bridges. Anything? I know that for listeners it's probably annoying that I'm drawing this out, but I really want to see if Scott can get it.
I'm really drawing a blank.
Jeff Bridges.
Maybe the second you say it, I'll get it. I don't know.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges plays the lead. Okay, so all right, no more screwing around. You ready? Mm-hmm. The movie is called White Squall.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah. Are you serious?
No, I've never seen it.
I'm really excited that I came up with a movie that you haven't seen.
And it's your sticker pick. Now I have to see it. Oh, no. All right.
Actually, you know what? You're going to cry like a baby. Okay.
Oh, really?
You want to break down what this is?
Yeah, spoiler free. I haven't seen it.
Well, maybe I should do it like you do, right? All right, so here's how Scott gives people movie recommendations. Don't watch any trailers. Don't read anything about it. Don't read a review. Don't look at anything. Don't look at the movie poster. Don't look don't even listen to the title more than one time.
I am not alone in that.
Are you?
If you're about to watch it, why would you ruin it? You're about to watch it.
You're not. A trailer doesn't ruin it. It's a preview.
Some of them do. Some of them are terrible and show like everything.
Yeah, but that's usually for like a terrible movie that doesn't have anything that anybody's going to miss.
Well, not always. Sometimes it's great little movies that they're worried aren't going to make money, so they give it all away to entice you.
I'd say this is a point where you and I have kind of always disagreed a little bit, is the whole spoiler thing.
Sure.
I don't mind knowing the end of something going in. Like, I'm all about, like, let me enjoy the journey. And I know it bothers you.
It bothers me a little. Although, for this podcast, spoiler alert, there will be a few spoilers just by the nature of describing why it's something that made us cry.
Oh, really? You're not going to tell people that they're not allowed to watch any trailers?
Well, don't watch a trailer. Just listen to me.
Oh, God.
And then nothing else.
Oh, God. This is my life. This is my life. He does this to me.
I know. It's so blessed. Hashtag blessed. All right.
I swear,
Go ahead.
If you had the ability, you would hack into my YouTube account or my computer or whatever and block all movie trailers for stuff you want me to see.
Oh, I already do that. But okay, anyway.
All right. Anyway, so let's talk
a
little bit about White Squall, okay? Yeah. Now, again, this is 12-year-old Colby misting at this one. I actually haven't seen this movie in a long, long time, so I have no idea if it would still have any impact on me whatsoever. Anyway,
okay.
So it's Jeff Bridges plays the captain of this boat, and I think that it takes place probably in like the 60s, maybe.
Okay.
And so he's the captain of this boat, and he has a couple of other people on the boat. The crew of the boat, they're sailors, but they are also teachers. And so the boat is a reform school. And so it's a reform school for boys. And anytime, like, there's, they get a group of kids, these are all boys who have been kicked out of schools or get into trouble, or they're getting bailed out of jail, and it's their dad's last time bailing them out, so he's going to send them onto this boat,
Right.
So it's it's like the Marine version of military school, kind of. So anyway, the kids come on this boat, they learn how to sail, and he's a real hard ass with them, and they also learn to respect their teachers. They learn to respect education, and they learn how to get along with one another.
All right.
So you have this group of all these. There's actually a lot of people in the movie who went on to be somewhat bigger movie stars who play these young boys.
Okay.
I think it's a young Ryan Phillippe is in it.
All right.
So they go on this boat. There's, conflict and all that fun stuff. And just as they're learning to bond and all of that, this storm hits. And, I don't want to ruin too much here, but a white squall is apparently like a marine term. It's some kind of a horrible, very, very rare storm. And they run into one, and then it's all about whether or not this incident was real. He gets in trouble for the incident, and all of his students and the boys he's been mentoring they're all in this great court scene at the end. You get all these great scenes on the boat, and when they dock in different places and stuff like that. It's a coming of age, very much in the vein of kind of Dead Poets Society type of deal. And
that's what I was thinking.
I'm trying to think what year Dead Poets Society came out, because in a lot of ways it's a ripoff. But it's got its added benefits. But anyway, I'm not sitting here saying that this is like one of the great classics of cinema that nobody knows. But
that's fine.
I remember
Did it make you cry?
I remember it being a good movie, and I remember it being terrifying because I mean, you know me.
The boat stuff.
I do not.
You're not a friend of the water.
And the water is not a friend of me.
Yeah, that's right.
I do not like the water. I have a irrational fear. No, it's a rational fear. I refuse to say it's irrational. I have a rational fear of sharks. And,
yes, you do.
And the idea of drowning just, it mortifies me. I can't. It feels like the worst way to go. So anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So you get, a lot of things that fed.
So that's why it scared you. Why did it make you cry or missed?
Because
the boys sticking up for their teacher.
There's that aspect of it that gets you the camaraderie. Like I think, I think, and this may be true throughout my list. I'm kind of a sucker for the redemption story,
Okay.
And you've got a lot of people in this movie, a lot of characters who go through that kind of arc. They start off and you hate them, and then you really care about them, and then all of a sudden, bad things. And it's a good story.
Makes sense.
I think I need to go back and rewatch it, honestly, see if it holds up. Because next
it's
pod,
your own sticker pick. You got to do it.
I could be sitting here going, "Never mind, I take it back. Don't watch that."
Well, that's the risk.
So anyway, White Squall, and this goes out to my dad because I've dogged him on like the last 4 episodes.
That's true. You've been kind of mean to your own father.
I wouldn't say mean. Maybe the Tom Cruise stuff was a little mean.
I thought it was good-natured teasing.
It was good-natured teasing. Definitely, yeah. Anyway, so thanks, Dad, for bringing me to a movie that terrified me and made me missed.
All right, White Squall.
White Squall.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch
a trailer. Don't watch a trailer.
Don't worry, I wasn't going to.
Oh, I know.
That is enough. I am now just going to watch the movie.
Oh, man. All right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'm ready for my number 10 then.
Let's hear it.
And I think you said you're a sucker for redemption stories. This number 10 is representative of something that I found as kind of a common theme in a lot of my choices. And that's parents and children stuff.
Boy.
It seems to get to me.
Time to hit the couch, man. And it sounds like you might need to see somebody about that.
Hey, you never know. All right, so my number 10 is from the year 2010.
Really?
Yeah. It stars Nicole Kidman and Aaron Eckhart, and it is the movie Rabbit Hole. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I actually, when you said Nicole Kidman and Aaron Eckhart, in my head, I had this, I remember reading something about it being a super underrated movie or something like that.
Okay.
But The title is not ringing a bell.
That's fine.
But I'm going to write it down.
So Rabbit Hole came out in 2010, directed by John Cameron Mitchell, who's done the movie Short Bus. I don't know, for people out there who saw that. Anyway, it's based on a play adapted by the playwright himself from his own 2006 play.
Oh, I like that.
His name is David Lindsay Hebert. Nicole Kidman was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress for this movie, and she should have won. Sandra Oh plays an important supporting role in it and is quite good. Anyway, so the general premise of the movie, and this isn't spoilers because this is right at the very beginning.
And you definitely wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that. So Nicole Kidman and Aaron Eckhart are husband and wife, and their 4-year-old son chases after the family dog into the street and gets run over and killed by a car.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right.
So then
I'm already
cut forward. Yeah. So then the whole movie takes place mostly like 8 months after that. And so, they're trying to move on with their lives after having lost their only child to, a car accident. So, you can see where the crying comes from right there.
Yeah.
There's a particularly devastating scene where they're arguing. Obviously the marriage is kind of falling apart. And he picks up his phone and then he starts freaking out and he starts yelling at her, "What did you do?" And she's like, "Oh, I updated the operating system." And he's like, "You deleted all the pictures and videos of him."
Oh.
Accidentally. Oh, and it's just a terrible scene to watch. And it gets them, saying all the mean things that they didn't say out loud before to each other. It's your fault. You got the dog, and, stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's rough. Not to say that this movie is entirely a downer. It's not. There's some funny stuff in here.
Funny stuff?
Yeah. Like Aaron Eckhart goes to like a support group for parents who lost a child. And there he meets Sandra Oh, and they don't really buy into it. So they like skip out and smoke pot and like have fun. Yeah. And, just try to deal with the grief through humor or avoidance or other things like that. Anyway, it's a very early role for Miles Teller. He plays the driver of the car who kills the boy. Oh. And kind of the main narrative of the movie is that Nicole Kidman starts like following him around and obsessing with him. And eventually they get together and they talk. And, and she went there to yell at him, but then they like get along and his parents aren't very much in his life. So she starts kind of parenting him, but she doesn't tell her husband about any of this. Anyway, it's a really good movie. The tears from me were very earned. It's not manipulative. It's very realistic. It's funny. It's sad. It's hopeful. And it's a really great movie. I really recommend it.
Oh, all right. I mean, that definitely sounds like something that I would like to check out, and I have every intention of doing so.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Just a really... I don't know if I should bring this up, but I made a short film not that long ago where my main character has someone in her life die. And I assigned this movie to my lead actress to watch because I think it's really good and handles grief really well and realistically and authentically.
Yeah, I think it was good homework because I really enjoyed that film you made, and I thought she did a really good job of depicting the grief. Tell them the title of your film. So
all right, it was a little short called Passenger Man.
You're gonna have to put a link up. You owe people that. It is good. You should put it up.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Well, I can't put it online yet. It's still out at festivals and stuff.
Oh, okay. All right.
But anyway, so Rabbit Hole 2010, very good movie, and I recommend it.
All right.
Lots of misting and many sad, happy tears from me. Yeah.
Many moments of mist.
Many mistings.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I started looking for more in mine was, did I mist throughout it or did I mist at one point,
Yeah.
And I think,
And honestly, we're ordering this from least cry to most cry, right? Or at least that's what we said last week.
Yeah, that's.
And honestly, like I have some where I missed it throughout, lower than ones where I had like one big moment of cry up higher. So I don't know if I did it right, but
Well, I think
that's just how it shaked out.
The emotion's cumulative, and if it's extraordinarily powerful at the end and gets you, that can outweigh a movie where it's got you misting throughout the whole thing. I think that's totally legit.
Yeah. Okay. So Rabbit Hole number 10.
All right. Good pick. Sounds like. Looking forward to it.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Number 9, sir.
All right. You ready? Number 9 is a film based off of a novel. I actually, after seeing the movie, I enjoyed this movie so much that I got the novel. And, anytime I really enjoy a movie and find out it's based on a novel, I go get the novel because I'm always excited to find new writers. But anyway, the novel's not that good.
Oh, okay. What year is this?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
It's probably...
You're not going to let me guess?
Well, I can give you a circa.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Let's say, I would say it's circa 2008, 2009. It was nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, fancy.
I mean, as soon I could tell you the lead actor. It's a George Clooney movie.
George Clooney. All right, what is it? It
is the movie The Descendants.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm actually curious what you think about this one. I guess I'll do a plot summary real quick, and then I'll ask you the question that I wanted to ask you about this one.
That was kind of Shailene Woodley's breakout movie, right?
Yeah, I think that was the one that really... Mm-hmm. I think that was before she did those, whatever ones were based off of the young adult.
The Divergent.
The Hunger Games ripoff.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It was before that. This was kind of like her big starring role. Anyway, so The Descendants is you have a family that has lived on the Big Island on Hawaii for generations. And they are quite wealthy because of it and because of land holdings that they have. And the time has kind of come for them to figure out what they're going to do with that and divide that up and whatever. That's kind of a side plot in the movie. The central plot of the film is that George Clooney plays a father of two little girls. Well, not two little girls. One's a teenager. One's a much younger girl. And the older sister is going through teenage rebellion stuff, pretty by the book, and he's struggling with how to deal with that and feels like her mom is not being super helpful and is kind of, because the mom kind of sees it as what it is, something she's got to go through. Anyway, so he's got a pretty troubled and strained relationship with his oldest daughter, and the younger daughter is very innocent and all that. But the drama comes because the mother is involved in a boating accident. And in this boating accident, she is put into a coma. And very early in the movie, this is not a spoiler because the whole entire movie revolves around it. She's going to die. And they make the decision to take her off of the life support and say their goodbyes and all of that. But it's a prolonged thing. They want to give everybody who knew her a chance to say goodbye to her. Yeah. And then Clooney finds out that she had been having a long-term affair with another guy. And so he has all of these questions and he can't ask her. And then he's got all of these extremely complex feelings because he's furious with her. But she's essentially dead. Yeah. And you get these really great hospital scenes with him and the actress who plays the wife, who obviously doesn't have any speaking lines, but does a fantastic job laying there. And he is really trying very hard not to let his daughters know this because he doesn't want to kind of drag their mother's name through the mud as they're saying goodbye to her. But, it comes out, the daughters find out. And so they kind of go on this weird little quest to find out as much as they can about this guy that she's been having an affair with. And why would, what made her unhappy in the marriage? What were they in love? Was this just a fling? What was going on? And, Clooney has to decide whether or not he wants to confront this man. And there are lots of scenes. And I think it's one of those movies that's just at a very high emotional intensity the whole time.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of really great moments with the children and these things that he as a father, I mean, it's just a nightmare, right? You're just having to tell your children the things that he has to tell them and trying to deal with the day-to-day dramas of being a parent while also dealing with all the stuff he's dealing with. And Shailene Woodley is fantastic as the oldest daughter. She does a really, really good job in this movie. Clooney's brilliant in it, I thought. And then, I won't say how it ends or anything like that, but it's very, very good. I thought so, at least.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it since the first time I saw it, but you talking about it brought back memories. And I think I remember I missed it in that one.
Okay. It got it's an honorary missed.
You got a missed, yeah.
I see. And the question I was going to ask you, and I guess if this probably is irrelevant now that you said you haven't seen it since, and it really, didn't quite register with you in the same way, obviously, because you've seen far more movies. But I was going to ask if you felt like this because this is what is a tightrope walk of the difference between being sincere and those emotions being earned, like you talked about with Rabbit Hole, and manipulation.
Manipulative, yeah.
And maybe we should explain what we mean by manipulative. Do you want to tackle that?
I think it's just where I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's you kind of know it when you see it, and you're like, okay, this is obviously wanting me to feel this way, rather than just presenting something to me and have me feel that way or not on my own. Yeah,
it's the difference between Marley and Me and Old Yeller.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, something like that. There's been some of the dog movies lately. Oh, man.
Good God. But they're milking that market.
Yeah. I remember a few nights ago, my wife and I were watching American Ninja Warrior.
As one does.
Yeah, as one does. And,
hold on, are we going back to the guilty pleasures?
No. I don't watch that. She was watching it. I was in the room.
Bullshit.
No, I swear.
You know
I
what?
liked the original Ninja Warrior on G4, but that's a whole other story.
Hey, Emily, anyway, just so you know and hear this, I love American Ninja Warrior. Jack and I watch it all the time. Those people have great stories, man.
No, okay, so those stories
are extremely
before they
manipulative.
Run the course, are so manipulative. They cut to. So 2 years ago, my sister was diagnosed with cancer, and that's why I'm running this course for them. And here's shots, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And while that's going on, I am rolling my eyes into the back of my head.
Yeah.
And I turn and I look at my wife, who has tears down her cheeks. And I'm just like, oh, really? Come on, this is not even earned. And she's like, I know. But so that's what we mean. But that's what we mean by manipulative. Like, as soon as it's done, it's not going to be something that you remember.
It does not stick with you.
Yeah.
I think you really came up with a really, really good example, because all of those reality shows do that. Like, Jack really is into America's Got Talent right now, and they do the same exact thing. It's like, here's this person.
And it works
here's
in the
their
moment.
sob story.
Yeah.
But it's also a stupid thing for them to do, because they're not going to do one of those bits on those people and then have them come out and suck.
Sometimes they throw you a curveball and they drop in like the first obstacle, and you're like, "Whoa, what did I watch all that shit for?"
Yeah, it's a little different with American Ninja Warrior because you can be like, "Oh, I was rooting so hard for them," but when they're not going to do like a big thing about somebody who overcame cancer and all this, and then they come out to sing and they sound like nails on a chalkboard. that would just be cool.
Kind of spoils it.
That would be really evil.
That'd be hilarious. That would be if I was in charge of a reality show, what we would do.
I mean, if you were doing a parody of a reality show, that would be a fantastic way to go.
That would be great. Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. So yeah.
Manipulative is just, like you said, you can do a lot of things to make a person cry because people are emotional. Like the music goes super,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
A lot of that is a really easy way to and that's, again, to me, that's not earned. Earned is the story and the characters and the relationships. That's what makes you cry, not the montage of sad images, the Sarah McLachlan commercial with the freaking puppies.
Right. So the Descendants for you, it really straddles that line.
No, actually, for me, it does not straddle that line.
Oh, it came down on it earned it.
No, I think that it very much earns it. So I was just wondering, as someone who...
Yeah, I don't remember it well enough to say.
Is a deeper studier of film than I am, if that might...
No, I remember thinking it was a pretty good movie. So
okay, yeah.
All right, The Descendants, number 9.
Yep,
I like it.
All right, number 9. What do you got?
All right, so I got a real recent one, 1948.
I thought you were being sincere.
Well, hey, my number 10 was 2010. I'm not doing too bad.
No. I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know if you've seen this. It's kind of a classic.
1948.
Some cinephiles. Yeah, you never know.
Maybe.
Some cinephiles out there have probably seen this. It's kind of a part of the canon, if you will. So anyway, it is The Bicycle Thief by Vittorio De Sica, 1948. So
I have seen that, and I saw
you have seen it
with you. You made me watch it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That tracks. Yeah.
In one of your, it's summer and we're back from college, and
here, watch this Italian neorealist film from the 40s.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm such a fun friend. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, Italian neorealism is kind of what has been labeled this kind of movement. A bunch of different films that came out in Italy that are hyper naturalistic and realistic. Oftentimes they cast a lot of like actual people and not professional actors, and stuff like that. So the film is very grounded, realistic, natural, and so this is kind of like the poster child for Italian neorealism. So the general plot is a very, very poor family in Italy. There's a father, his wife, I want to say 6-year-old son, and a new baby. And they're desperate for money, and the father finally gets a job, right? He gets to go around town posting like ad flyers on buildings. But in order to do this job, he has to have a bike.
Right.
So the family takes their most prized possession, which is like their dowry bed sheets, to a pawn shop to buy a bicycle.
Prized possession as well.
Yeah. And there's, just to give you a hint of like the tone in the movie, there's this devastating shot. This poor family bringing in their bed sheets to get this bike so that they can make money. And the pawn shop owner takes it and walks in the back and adds it to a shelf of what must be hundreds of bed sheets.
Yeah.
So it's a tough time. Post World War II in Italy, it's a little bit of a mess.
Not fun after World War II in Italy.
Yeah, right. So anyway, they get the bike, and then his first day on work, it gets stolen. So then the whole movie is basically the father, and he takes his 6-year-old son or so, and they walk around town trying to find the person who stole the bike and get it back, right?
I had a bike stolen from me in Chicago, and I did the same thing.
Yeah, it's the natural. It's like, hey.
Yeah, every time I saw somebody on a similar type of bike, I would scream at them.
Yeah, run up there.
I wanted to see a receipt. That's
right. Yeah, there's a scene in this scene. He runs up with like the serial numbers wrong. Anyway, so I'm gonna have to spoil a little bit. The movie came out in the 40s, and again,
and I know
it's about the journey.
The ending is super important.
The ending is why it's on this list, so I have to describe it. So after this whole movie of trying to get his bike back, he fails. And he's going to lose his job, and he's not going to be able to feed or provide for his family. And then there's like a soccer game or something going on, and outside the stadium, there's rows of hundreds of bikes just parked there. And this is all no dialogue, and you see him just in anguish over, oh my God, do I steal a bike? And staring at these bikes. And he spent this whole time like trying to be a good father and teach good lessons to his son.
Mm-hmm.
And then here he is watching him, and he can tell that he's thinking about it. And anyway, ultimately he sees this lone bike in like an alley, unwatched. And he gives his son some money. He's like, hey, go tow the trolley, go away, because he doesn't want him to see. And he goes and he steals the bike. And he's immediately like seen, and people shout and chase him down, and they catch him, and they start walking him to jail. And his son sees, and he runs up, he's Papa, Papa, and is, oh my goodness. And just the look of existential, spiritual shame on this man's face.
Complete defeat.
As his son sees him being walked off to jail for trying to steal this bike. And so it's this whole, like, a father's shame to his young son, plus like this whole portrait of this totally unfair socioeconomic situation, like all those emotions that the whole movie's built up to. And it's just a devastating walk of shame at the end of this movie. It's just, oh.
Yeah, and they linger on it too, don't they? Make you really feel it.
Yeah, they kind of walk off into the camera. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, no, I remember that being. You've shown me some old movies in the past that I have not been very thankful for. But that was a good one.
Okay.
That's a really good movie.
So that
and it holds up. Like it's watchable.
Yeah.
Now.
It's because I think of the style. It's all non-actors. These are people who really lived in those conditions.
Jeez.
Not a lot of dialogue for them to have to say. It's really told visually. And yeah, it came out in 1948, and there's this UK magazine called Sight and Sound that collects hundreds and hundreds of critics and hundreds of film directors. They send out a survey and say, mail us back your top 10 movies of all time. Right. And they count them all up, and they tally up the points, and they publish the list. They do this every 10 years.
Okay.
So it came out in 1948, and then 1954, the poll came out, and it ranked number 6 greatest film of all time.
Number 6? Wow.
No, actually number 1. I'm sorry. It was number 1, the greatest film of all time.
Jeez.
All the way up in 2004, that list, it was still all the way up there at number 6.
That's crazy. I mean, it makes sense though. Like you said at the beginning, it holds up. Canonical. It's this is like it's like the Grapes of Wrath of movies. It's one that's kind of required viewing if you are a cinephile.
Yeah, and trust me, like I know I just kind of spoiled it, but I didn't. Like you'll still get everything out of watching it still.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And it's an hour and 20 minutes. It's not that bad. I really think it's a nice way to ease you into like older foreign black and white movies. It's pretty, it holds up, like you said.
Yeah, it definitely holds up. I mean, yeah, if you're going to watch old foreign movies. You know, they're definitely harder because, you know, a lot of people struggle with movies with subtitles now, you know, and that's so for older ones it's even harder. Right. But this was really accessible for me, even at like 19 or whenever I did see it. You know, I agree. I think that's a great pick. Yeah.
Yeah, and it really just kind of builds to this ending that's just devastating, and that's kind of impossible not to miss there.
Yeah, the whole.
And I haven't watched it since I became a father, so I don't know. It might even hit harder.
Oh man, yeah, that might wreck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole. You know, you have a moral code, and having to push or stretch that because you have to provide for your family. That's a tear-jerking
understandable thing. Yeah.
And it's something I think people can relate to. You can put yourself in that situation and ask yourself what you would do.
Yeah.
And you've got like you said, the kid looking on. It's tough.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You're being watched.
So that's another entry of mine. That's parents and children stuff.
Okay.
There will be some more.
I thought it was going to be a bunch of like like you know, divorce movies and when you said that I instantly went to like, you know, parents who are neglecting their children, not because of you, probably because who knows why. Maybe I'm the one who needs to be on the couch.
Yeah, maybe.
No
we can,
which
anyway,
I had great parents, so I don't know why. But
okay.
Anyway, I mean, I still have great parents. They're alive.
Yes. I don't know why you phrased it that way. Okay.
Anyway, whatever. They were good when I was a kid. So yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
The Bicycle Thief, number 9.
Number 9. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I had a feeling that you would probably have that on your list. That's lower than I thought.
Oh, okay. No, I got some more good tiers coming up.
So I'm curious what 8 movies were able to knock that one down.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, give me your number 8 first.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Number 8 for me is a Paul Thomas Anderson film.
Oh, I love those.
Yes, they are good, and they all tend to be in the get you to missed vein.
I'm gonna guess. Now I'm going back and forth on 2 of them. I'm gonna guess Punch Drunk Love.
Oh no.
It's Magnolia.
It's Magnolia.
Okay. I had it down to those 2.
You had it down. If you're talking about Paul Thomas Anderson movies, you definitely had it down to Punch Drunk Love was one that I definitely was thinking of.
Okay.
It didn't make my list, but it was one that was on my, you know, my early brainstorm list where I just kind of go, what immediately comes to mind? Because if I have to do too much research into it, obviously it didn't stick with me that well. And Punch Drunk Love was one that came to mind, but this one came to mind right away. So Magnolia, God, how do you describe Magnolia, Scott?
That's rough. It's a 3-hour, super depressing drama with a crazy musical sequence in it, and it rains frogs.
There you go. That's it.
Okay, there you go. Magnolia. Moving on.
That's number 8. Yeah, Magnolia. First of all, I think we can agree, like, Tom Cruise, by far his best acting performance of his life.
No.
What? Oh, you're going to say Eyes Wide Shut.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, all right. I know you're a big fan of that movie. Okay. Fair enough. For me,
it's obviously way up there. Yes, he's great.
Yeah, I mean, he's phenomenal.
Not a huge part of the movie. It's really an ensemble.
It's an ensemble piece, right? And Tom Cruise's character, if you hate Tom Cruise, you know, like, don't let that stop you. And actually, this might be a movie that kind of changes that a little bit because he plays such a non-Tom Cruise-y type of character in this movie, don't you think?
Yeah, he's definitely not playing himself. Yeah.
So it's like Scott said, it's an ensemble piece. It follows a handful of different characters through their lives, and each one of them is dealing with some kind of they have reached a moment in their life where they are at some kind of a breaking point. And so you have the former child genius who was famous as a child, and everybody, he won a bunch of episodes of a game show, won a ton of money, and earned a lot of fame that way, and then never became anything in life. And is just this massive disappointment to himself more than to anybody else. And just really the only thing he actually wants is to feel loved, and can't get that. And that's William H. Macy's character. And he's got just some incredible scenes in there where he's talking to people and just breaking down and having such a hard time. And to me, this is a movie about loneliness.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
And it's just so extraordinarily powerful in its depiction of how isolating life can be.
Yeah.
And so each of these characters is going through, for whatever reason, they're going through that. And again, it's so hard to describe without going through too much detail, but they're all suffering.
Without spoilers, which parts specifically make you cry or miss?
Good question. For me, when William H. Macy is in the bar, and he finally just starts talking to the entire bar about how he's feeling, like he just lets it all out there and is just basically begging anyone to care about him. That's heartbreaking. And
obviously the Tom Cruise at his father's deathbed scene.
Oh my God. The Tom Cruise at his father's. Yes. So Tom Cruise plays a Tony Robbins type figure. He's an inspirational talker, but he is a misogynist piece of shit. Like his whole entire thing is imagine all those motivational speakers, but this one is completely geared at getting laid. And his entire philosophy of getting laid is that women are inferior, and that you need to tap into your inner strength as a man and like embrace the cock, or whatever it is he says. And
that's what he says. Yeah.
Is that what he says? I
think so. Something like that.
Something along those lines. And he plays that brilliantly, which is its own form of sad and pathetic, right? And it's sad to see all the guys that are in the audience, and you want to be like, look, the reason you're not getting laid is because you're not embracing the cock.
It's because you're at this talk.
It's because you're the type of guy who would go to this. But anyway, I find that scene where the reporter is talking to him. So there's a female reporter is interviewing him, and he does this like really just repulsive, arrogant. He's getting changed afterwards, and he's really just flaunting it in front of her, like just doing all of the shit that he preaches. And she brings up to him his dad. Yeah. And he instantly just, like, it's a very famous scene. You can find it on YouTube. He just shuts down, like just goes from this like guy who's up at 11 to a guy who is glaring at her. Right. Like he wants to stare laser beams through the back of her head. And you can see, I mean, my God, that alone, it makes that performance so brilliant. That scene right there, that he's able to convey that so well, I think is extremely impressive to me. And that part gets me. And then, yes.
I have to say, it was back before he just, I think, has gone like full on comedy roles. But the John C. Reilly part plays a cop who just like so desperately wants to have connection.
Oh boy, yeah.
And it's cringy sad.
Cringy, yeah. And he meets a very like socially isolated woman who, has no ability to connect with people because she's sort of agoraphobic, and and the two of them have this kind of weird connection that it doesn't feel like it's gonna work. It's that is cringy for sure. But yeah, you mentioned it earlier. So Tom Cruise's dad is dying, and why am I forgetting his name right now? Philip Seymour Hoffman plays the nurse on call, and he has this. There's a great scene where Tom Cruise does finally decide to show up to his dad's bedside because he hates his dad, because his dad left him when he was a kid. And he shows up to say his goodbye, and it is intense.
Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman's so good in everything, so I kind of forget to highlight him.
Yeah, right.
He's always good.
Well, he blends so seamlessly into every role that you kind of lose him because he's not showy, But God, that scene at the bedside. And so the nurse is kind of off in the back. He's been trying as hard as he can to get a hold of this very, very famous son to get him to come and say goodbye to his dying father. And when it finally happens, it's not what he was expecting. And
let's not spoil that. That's
I don't want to spoil that at all, because that to me is the scene where, oh my God, that one
got you?
That one got me hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm now curious, what 7 movies are higher for you?
Really? Oh, so you thought that one was going to be much higher for me?
Well, you just said it really got you. So now I'm wondering.
Oh, I thought I thought you meant that you had kind of predicted that one for me.
I thought maybe. Honestly, I was too worried about my own. I didn't spend much time thinking about you.
Well, I never spend much time thinking about you, so.
Oh, actually, you had to go and make it mean. All right.
Well, you know what would have been fun for this one that we forgot is because you've seen so many movies, and because I've seen so many of the movies I've seen with you, for you to have tried to guess what was going to be on my list. Guess yours.
Yeah, I could.
But I mean, we can do that as it goes.
Yeah, I suppose.
But so far, you've got kind of like a half a point for getting it down to one of the two.
Down to a couple. Yeah. All right. I'll take half a point.
All right. So Magnolia is number 8 for me. What do you got?
I like it a lot. All right. So my number 8, I also have a early sticker pick. This is my sticker pick.
The sticker picks are coming out early, folks.
Yeah, they're already gone. This is it. So, and this is a nice recent movie too. Oh, 2015.
That is recent. Well, not as recent as I'd like it to be, but it's recent.
What's wrong with 2015?
Dude, that's 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah, jeez.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. That feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, so it used to be on Netflix, and I looked it up for this podcast, and it's not there anymore. So that's annoying. But maybe it'll come back, and in the meantime, you can rent it, $2.99 on Amazon or iTunes or wherever. So you can definitely find this. And it is my sticker pick, so you shall find it and watch it, damn it. Mm-hmm. All right, so this is how to describe? Okay.
2015. Was it up for awards and all that? Was it commercially successful?
Probably not. It's pretty small.
They never.
So I'll just say it. It's the movie 45 Years by Andrew Haigh. Haigh? I should probably learn how to say his name. I think he's one of the best filmmakers in the world.
45 years? I've never even heard of this.
He also did a great movie called Weekend that I really recommend people check out.
So anyway, I have not 45 heard of years. Either of these.
Oh, well, you got some good stuff. I will say that this movie starts out and, is all the way through. It's very slow moving, but purposefully so. It's a really well done tone, though, and it's only an hour and 30 minutes. So, and it packs a lot into it. All right, so 45 Years stars Charlotte Rampling as Kate Mercer and Tom Courtenay as her husband, Jeff. And Charlotte Rampling was nominated for Best Actress for this movie. Deservedly so. She's fantastic. You know Charlotte Rampling. Going back to podcast number 1, Broadchurch, she plays the attorney who's going blind.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
She's great in Broadchurch. Oh my gosh.
Oh, much better in this. Okay, so Charlotte Rampling. So it's called 45 Years because it's the whole movie takes place over like 5 or 6 days, as marked by intertitles. So it's like Monday and then, okay, anyway. Leading up to their 45th wedding anniversary party. Okay, so 45 years. And this is going to get a little spoilery again, but I'm honestly, you'll have to trust me. I'm very protective about that, and I will only give as much as I need to for this podcast.
Oh yeah, listen, if Scott's giving away something that's a spoiler, you can bet it's necessary. Because if it was up to him, he'd barely give you the title.
Yeah. You'll still get plenty from watching it after hearing me talk, I promise. Okay. So what it is, it's this married couple, older couple, 45th anniversary. And so the movie kind of kicks off when the husband receives a letter that the body of his old girlfriend was finally unearthed from ice in Switzerland.
Oh.
She fell when they were hiking, and they finally got the body out of the ice or whatever.
So he was there when this happened.
Yes. Well before he met his current wife, and, so more than 45 years ago, 50-something years ago, right? So that sets it off. Yeah. So it affects him. You can see it. He starts walking around alone and going in the attic and looking at pictures of her and stuff like that.
That's fair. I mean, it's going to drag stuff up.
Yeah. So this movie, the husband definitely goes through kind of, I don't know what you call it, a late life crisis, I guess, and is going through stuff. But the entire movie is entirely from her point of view. We never go off and follow him when he goes off on his own. We're very much in her point of view where she's, infuriatingly wondering, what is he thinking? And we don't get to see what he's thinking. We're with her.
Interesting.
So anyway, they are 45 years married. They are childless by choice and whatnot. Okay. So it starts out innocently enough that she's like, okay, this is affecting you. Tell me about her. And so he shows a picture, and she looks a lot like she did when she was younger. And then they look over, and she looks over at their dogs, and they're all German shepherds they've had together. And this girl was German. And, and then she starts, going crazy on herself. Right. But then it's all borne out. So there are 3 scenes that I cry in this movie. The first is he's going up in the attic and looking at stuff of hers. So finally one night she goes up there and she finds a slideshow carousel type thing, and she starts playing it. And there's pictures of them together and all that, etc. And then you see this picture. And she pauses on it, and you don't see it. You just look at her face, and it's just this devastation. And you're like, oh, my God, show me what this picture is, right? Mm-hmm. And then it cuts in real close on her left hand, and you see a wedding ring on it, or an engagement ring. And you're like, oh, that's not that bad. And it starts slowly zooming out, and you see the hand is resting on a baby bump belly.
Oh.
And anyway, I don't want to spoil too much. So why? And then she follows him one day, and he's seeing a travel agent because he's booking a trip to Switzerland to go see her body and hasn't told her about it.
And they're childless by choice, and she's wondering, is that something that was really okay?
So she's like, am I, the runner-up here? Am I the best you can do replacement? When she's planning their 45th anniversary, our marriage has been great. Everything's great. Right. So it's this story about like, was this love ever real? Is it real now? Judging something up in the past and totally reshaping the way you've seen your whole life. And she's just kind of alone with these shots. There's another scene later on where she's playing the piano by herself. That makes me cry. And then the very end scene, which I won't spoil, the final shot of this movie is up there in terms of like absolute perfection. Final shot. Like before sunset level perfect type of final shot.
All right. Now you're talking.
And that makes me cry too. So those three scenes make me cry. And it's just, I'm not an elderly person yet, but I could totally relate to looking back on your past, and it's like suddenly the things that you thought were good, now you're questioning, and how that would just devastate you.
Well, your entire conception of them is all of a sudden thrown into question.
Yeah. And it's just a really powerful, subtle, wonderfully acted, awesome hour and 30-minute movie. And I can't recommend it enough. It is my sticker pick, 45 years.
45 years. Sticker pick.
Yeah.
All right. Sticker pick.
I guarantee some tears.
Are you guaranteeing some tears for me?
I guarantee misting for you.
I don't know. I'm even tough to mist.
I think you got a chance at misting.
Okay. All right. I mean, it sounds interesting. You did a good job of selling it. I'll give you that.
All right. It's a really good movie.
45 years. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I like the premise a lot. 8. It sounds like a great story idea.
Yeah, and it's really cool. So well done. I love the perspective of the film. The way it's shot and acted, it's really good.
Yeah, and I do love movies that are what I would call novelistic. You watch it and you feel like, oh, that would be a really good book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
There you go. That's my number 8.
All right. So number 7.
Yeah, kick us off.
All right, number 7. Now, all right, I pulled a Scott here.
What does that mean? That could go many different ways.
That's true. All right. I pulled a Scott in your tradition of screwing up one of the rules that we have set out for this podcast.
You can't cheat
every single week.
Only I could cheat.
No, I'm taking that away from you, and I'm going to go ahead and do it myself. So deal with it, guy.
How have you cheated?
Okay. So my number 7 is 2 movies.
Oh, you can't do that.
I'm doing it.
Are they related in some way at least?
Once I say the 2 movies, you're going to see that they're very closely related, because the second one is it's just so outwardly an homage to the first.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And they're not at all shy about showing that. And all, well, whatever. All right. So it's number 7, Casablanca.
Oh.
And what's the related one?
Related to Casablanca?
Very recent movie.
Oh, geez. I don't know. It sounds like it's probably terrible, and I didn't watch it.
New prodigy director. He's got 3 films, I think. Maybe 4.
Oh. La La Land?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know how related that is.
But okay. Why'd you say it like that?
Because I don't agree with your relation, but that's okay.
Are you kidding me? Like, there are multiple times in that movie where they make direct references to Casablanca.
They also make direct references to a lot of other movies, dude.
Okay,
that probably went over your head.
She has a gigantic mural in her bedroom.
Yeah.
Of Ingrid Bergman.
Well, yeah, sure.
Okay. And the ending of La La Land is essentially the ending of Casablanca.
It's essentially like the midpoint of Casablanca.
No, it's the ending.
I don't know about that.
Well, whatever. They're connected.
Okay, fine.
They're very
connected.
closely connected. You know what? And I'll tell you why. Okay. So
Okay.
I don't even. First of all, I'm guessing most people have seen La La Land. If you haven't, you should. And here's why. I despise musicals. They annoy me. I find them irritating. I don't care for them. And I love this movie. So there you go. And it's a musical. So for me to love a movie that's a musical, it's got to be really good. And obviously, as you know, Scott, Casablanca is my favorite film of all time.
I do. I wonder what wonderful person showed that to you for the first time.
I'm going to give credit to just a random person right now.
No, it's me, damn it.
I'll tell you what, listeners, first person to send me a message and say they introduced me to post on our Facebook page or on Twitter or on Instagram that they showed me Casablanca. I'm going to give credit to you in our next podcast.
Hilarious. I know the truth. That's all that matters.
Yeah, the truth is that this person showed it to me, and I'm so grateful to them for it.
And email sent. I win again.
Yeah, well, I have power to delete all of those posts.
And I have the power to post them again. So we shall see.
I guess this week's going to be really time-consuming.
Yeah, it's going to be the same social media post being posted and deleted over and over again.
Oh, my God. You're really making it... You're really selling people on visiting the pages and interacting.
Yeah. Hey, that's a sell, right?
Oh my God. So yeah.
Okay, so Casablanca and La La Land. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go into the plot of either of them because I feel like...
So why do they make you cry?
Exactly. I think that's the thing to go into.
Yeah.
I mean, Casablanca, the sacrifice he makes...
Yeah.
Is just, it's beautiful.
They are both love stories where they do not end up together.
Yes. And you simultaneously understand why.
Mm-hmm.
But
still hate to see it. Yeah.
And still hate to see it. Yeah. It's tragic.
Yeah, that is
tragically
a
beautiful.
Specific emotion, yeah.
Yeah, and both of those have that. And Casablanca obviously grand slammed it. The whole famous last speech is that sacrifice he makes, letting her, or really making her go.
Right.
And then in La La Land, it's more of a, they...
Yeah, wordless, yeah.
But so beautifully done. And I gotta say... even without it being a musical, they probably could have done this, but the way they use music as a signifier.
Yeah, of like the memory of their relationship.
And she comes in and he plays the song. Again, you're not seeing the connection to Casablanca here?
No, I definitely am. Yeah.
Play it again.
I was giving you a hard time.
All right. Thank you. So, I don't know. So what makes me cry about them? They're
just that frustration of love.
They're beautiful.
Not getting together.
And they're sad. And it's
I feel that.
Even as a happily married person, it's always hard to watch, someone, for whatever reasons, that relationship was not able to happen, but that love is there and always will be,
Right. Definitely.
You can see it, and you can just imagine yourself in that situation, either with the person you're with, or maybe you've had that situation. I don't know, but it's a really gut-wrenching type of thing, and it's emotionally powerful. But La La Land, to me, also had a number of scenes that were really emotionally powerful.
Yes, yeah. When she sings
that's the one
audition song at the end.
Yep.
Oh, she gets me every time. She won the Oscar for that.
That's the one that actually gets me more than the ending, is when she sings the song about her aunt. The one that gets me
most of all, the one that gets me most of all is her outside her house at night talking to him by the car about maybe I'm not good enough.
Oh, that gets me too, yeah.
Oh, that wrecks me. Yeah.
And she just keeps saying, I'm not good enough. No, And he's trying to be supportive and trying to encourage her.
You are. And she's like, but what if I'm not? And it's we've all been there.
Right. That's exactly that's the, like, if you're anybody who does anything.
Who has any type of dream. Yeah.
Yeah. You've been in that situation. You've had that conversation with yourself or with someone else, and you've felt exactly what she's feeling. And boy, that twists the knife right in there for you if you've got that wound.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that one. La La Land was a honorable mention for me.
So yeah, I put them together because Casablanca
Makes sense.
Throughout the film doesn't necessarily have many points where I missed, and
yeah, it's intellectually it makes me sad. I don't know if it actually gets tears from me.
Yeah, and I wonder, how much of that is time's doing.
Yeah, maybe. Mm-hmm.
Did crowds at the time weep passionately?
Yeah. I don't know.
But whatever, that doesn't change the fact that it's a great movie, obviously.
No, of course not.
It's my favorite movie of all time, and a lot of people rank it number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my 7.
I like it. It's very good.
It's the Casablanca La La Land mashup.
Good deal.
God, that song she sings.
Oh, I know. It was my honorable mention. I also had another one of his movies as my honorable mention, First Man, which I don't think you've seen.
I haven't seen that yet.
A very different reason for crying in that one that I will not spoil at all. But yeah, I recommend that movie a lot. All right, so I guess I'll do my number 7 then.
Yeah.
This is another recent one, 2014.
Man, I'm shocked by this.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I've gotten more cry heavy as I've gotten older. I don't know. I'm a softie.
Or maybe just, contemporary movies are more likely to get an emotional reaction.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so my number 7, I know you've seen.
2014, you said?
Mm-hmm. It's science fiction. It stars Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Murph! Don't let me go, Murph. Don't let me go.
I have Interstellar by Christopher Nolan at number 7. Which if you haven't seen, I recommend. It's a great movie. So yeah, it's all about, again, another parent-child thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And one of McConaughey's best performances in a career that has really kind of gotten a lot of them lately.
Yeah. So I definitely cry all because of the Murph scenes, as he said. Murph.
Don't let me go, Murph. Don't let me go.
Is played by Jessica Chastain and Mackenzie Foy and Ellen Burstyn. And I guess I won't spoil why.
Well, sci-fi, you could probably figure out why.
Yeah. So
such a smart movie. God.
Yeah. And I especially, as sort of a closet science nerd, space nerd, really enjoyed all the real physics with relativity and
they do some
time. Yeah.
They do some really cool stuff with the actual science of that stuff.
It's really cool.
And then some of the theoretical stuff.
Well, yeah, and then it goes out there, but that's fine. I have no problem going along on that leap with it. I know some people are like, really? It's all about love, and there's this another dimension that he thinks of as a library, and it's like kind of weird, but I don't know. I go with it.
No, I went with it 100%.
Oh, okay, good. So one of the moments that makes me cry is unfortunately become like a meme now. It's the scene where he gets like a video message from his daughter, and he watches it, and he's crying and bawling at it, which then I'm bawling along with him. So anyway, the basic plot of the movie is it's the future. We've screwed up the earth. We're running out of food. We need to find somewhere else to live. So he's recruited to go.
How they came up with that idea. That's so far out there.
Yeah, I don't know. They're going to travel through some wormhole to search for a new home for humanity. And basically, he has to say goodbye to his young daughter because this trip is basically going to take his whole life.
Yeah, it's because of the distance he's traveling. It's going to cause him to age.
Yeah.
At a different rate than she's going to age, and that all
the speed at which
sense.
He travels. Yes.
Yeah, it all makes sense with the science.
So eventually, in the middle of their mission, he gets a video message from his daughter, and she is now played by Jessica Chastain. She's much older.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go ahead and say it.
Yeah, she's talking to him, catching him up on her life, and that it's not going great. He left, and
so he's basically missed his daughter's life.
Yeah, and she signs off that video call by going like, "And now I'm older than you were when you left me," or something. It's just like, oh, anyway.
Which is a callback because he tells her that when he left, right? When she's a little girl. Yeah, but he said it kind of as a joke.
Yeah.
He says, like, maybe when I come back, you'll be older than me or something like that.
Yeah. So then I guess I just want to, because I want to say the line, some quick spoilers for Interstellar. Skip forward 45 seconds, okay? All right, end of the movie. He comes back, and his daughter Murph is played by Ellen Burstyn. She's in her 70s, 80s, on her deathbed. And he walks up to her, and they clasp hands, and she thought he would come back this whole time. It like validates her entire life and career, and no one believed her, and that he's there affirms it all, which that's emotional enough. But then the line is, as he goes to her. No, she goes to him. She says, "I knew you'd come back." And he goes, "How?" And then she goes, "Because my dad promised me." Yeah. And that's just immediate. My face scrunches up into an ugly cry. That line is just, oh
man. And she's got all of her kids and grandkids there. And so it's like this total. Yeah. Boy, that's powerful.
So anyway, that is the end of the spoilers.
Yeah.
You have missed the spoilers.
And spoiler free.
Yeah.
But I felt like, I don't think it was like maybe a make you cry type of thing in that film, but Anne Hathaway's storyline with the other scientist on
yes,
is quite powerful as well.
Her husband or something that went before her already, or something like that. Yeah,
yep.
And then she has to choose to go to a different planet. Yeah.
And she basically has to decide between the fate of humanity and reuniting, potentially reuniting.
And her impassioned plea for, why can't it just be that I love my husband? Yeah, that's a good speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an emotional movie. It's at number 7 for me. It gets
me good movie.
Gets me quite often.
That was one of my honorable mentions. I have to say I'm surprised it made your list. I thought that
no,
I didn't think it was something that would get you in the feels that good.
That line that I said in the spoiler section, man, I just big, huge, ugly tears. Yeah. I don't know why, but it gets me really good.
You need to take a video of yourself watching the YouTube clip. So we can
no
see
thanks.
the face.
I watched it earlier today as a clip without having the whole movie built up to it,
without
just as
context.
A clip. And there I am crying. So it still works.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it really is.
You know what? That movie gets hated on a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's Christopher Nolan like fanboys who will say he's the greatest director of all time and every movie he's ever made is the greatest. And that annoys people with actual taste and knowledge of film history. And so then maybe there's like a backlash against that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is a backlash.
This film is actually, this film is actually really good. And so are a lot of his movies.
To be fair to Christopher Nolan, he's an excellent filmmaker.
Oh, yeah, I love a lot of his movies.
And the vast majority of his films are exquisite. The worst of them are decent. Yeah.
So anyway, Interstellar, number 7 for me.
Great pick. Great pick.
Actually, before we do number 6, we should probably take one more quick break. Thanks for listening to Lists. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you like what we're doing, please leave us a rating and a review. 5 stars, please. It really helps us grow and get the word out, especially since this podcast is still very new. So thanks in advance, and now let's get back to our top 10 movies that made us cry.
And we're back. It's time for number 6 on top 10 movies that made you cry. So I believe I'm up, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Number 6, definitely a movie you've seen.
Oh, I want to guess it. Give me some hints.
All right. Let me see. I should have put years next to these. I apologize.
Like the year, I could maybe even just get it from that, but all right. You're making it hard on me.
I know. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to type this into the Google machine right now, people. You are hearing me doing it. All right. Just so I can help see if Scott can guess this. All right. Let's see.
Now I've set myself up for failure.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, man.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
2004.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Come on, man. Did you look at, so how did you get that so fast?
That's my number 6.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. 2004. My number 6 as well.
Oh, we've got the same number 6.
That's crazy. All right.
Wow. I was wondering if we would have any overlap. There were a couple I was thinking we're going to...
That's crazy. In the same spot. What are the chances?
That's really weird.
All right. Well, you can talk about it first.
Oh, boy. Okay. So Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Boy, this is a...
Yeah.
I'm going to say revisionist love story. Does that sound good to you?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a magical realism.
It's hard to categorize.
Yeah, it really is. So, I mean, it's very realistic, very, very realistic, but there's this added element of technology that we do not actually have. So anyway, right. Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet star in this movie, and they are and it begins with Jim Carrey absolutely heartbroken over the demise of their relationship, and he wants to go and have
all memories of her erased.
Yes, this is something that you can do now. Is you can go to these doctors, and they do this procedure on you. Thank you. I don't know why that word wasn't coming, but so they do this procedure, and they come to your house, and they take out anything that will remind you of them, and they go through your brain, and they systematically just kind of like, it's literally like erasing the marker off of a whiteboard type of deal. Yeah. And so he wants to have this done to forget her. And as it goes, so it's taking you through all of his memories of her. And
being erased. Yeah.
And you see this like
very cleverly and inventively visually represented.
Well done. And they use great cues to tell you kind of when what part of the relationship you're seeing. Yeah,
with her hair especially.
Her hair is what it is, really. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Her hair color changes depending, and it gives you that's your kind of cue as to where you are in time. Yeah. And so he's having his memories of her erased, and you see this beautiful relationship, this fucked up relationship, all of the things that all relationships go through.
And it's non-linear. Like one scene they're so in love and it's new, and the next scene it's they hate each other, and the next scene after that they love each other.
Yes.
It's jumping all around.
And then there's kind of where the drama happens is that about a little while into the procedure, he becomes aware of it, which is not something that's happened for these doctors before. And so he becomes aware of it. It's something he's supposed to just sleep through. and he realizes that he does not want this to happen, even though
he doesn't want to lose the memories of her.
Yeah. He's willing to go through the suffering and maintain the memories of it because they have their beauty, and and it's kind of the universal problem of the breakup, right? I mean, when you have your heart shattered, like the most convenient thing to do, obviously, is to
just be to forget them.
They never existed for you, but
then you lose all the good times too.
You lose the good stuff, and so he begins this kind of journey through his own mind to save these memories, and she becomes this figment in his head that is sort of assisting him, and there are twists in this movie that I'm not going to give away, but there are twists having to do with the doctors, there are twists having to do with her and with their relationship, and it's just it's beautiful.
In terms of this podcast, it's on your list because of the ending?
No, this is on my list the whole way through.
Yes, but it culminates in the ending.
I mean, obviously the ending is like
wraps it into
this movie does a nice job of it. If you think of it as like a water faucet, like it starts and it's got some drips, and then it turns into like that little stream you run when it's going to get down to like -20 at night, and then by the end of this movie you've got a fire hose.
It's
I mean, I almost defy anyone to watch this movie and not cry.
It's tough. And Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet are great as Joel and Clementine. And then you mentioned some of the doctors, like there's Kirsten Dunst and Mark Ruffalo and Elijah Wood and Tom Wilkinson. Really great cast.
I usually don't care for Dunst's work or Elijah Wood's work, frankly. And I thought they were great in this movie.
That's just a failure on your part. Dunst is fantastic.
Whatever. Overrated.
Oh, jeez. All right. I got to tell you some things to watch. All right. Anyway, it won the Academy Award for Best Screenplay. I think Winslet was nominated. Carey should have been too, his best role.
He got hosed, I mean, he was great in that movie.
And it's just
so anti-Jim Carrey, right? Like, you think of this like manic...
Oh, he's very almost shy and quiet guy.
It's...
Yeah, great performance.
I wouldn't say almost shy. He's painfully shy.
Well, right. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh.
I guess kind of the old kind of cliche phrase, better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Like...
Yeah, it's like if someone wanted to make a movie out of that one statement.
Yeah, dramatized in the most beautiful... strangely profound way possible. That's this.
I'm going to take pithy phrases from quote books
and make it into a great movie.
Turn them into 1.5 hour long masterpieces.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. What makes you cry about it?
Just their relationship and the way, how he starts. Like, oh no, I love this memory. Don't take it away, as it literally visually like falls apart and away from him.
As you're watching it get destructed,
Yeah, and then it's the end, them in that hallway, and his this won't spoil it, his shrug and answer of okay.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
It's that's an excellent movie.
Yeah. Number 6 for both of us. That's crazy.
All right, and hey, not a parent-child movie for you.
No, that's a relationship movie. It's like we said, it's impossible kind of to categorize, but if it counts as a quote unquote romantic comedy, then it is my favorite romantic comedy ever.
If it is a romantic comedy, it's the greatest one ever made.
Yeah, that's a big if, but
yeah,
if you let it count as that, that's my choice. Yeah, I love this movie.
Boy, it's so good. Both had it at 6? Man, that's fascinating.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm curious about the top 5. Some of my top 5, I have to say, are not as good a movie, but the tears came more.
Like Bambi, and Bambi's a great movie. I don't know what I'm saying there.
Well, we're gonna find out, and we're gonna do that
Toy Story
over
3
in part 2.
Yep.
So that'll do it for numbers 10 through 6. Make sure to find part 2 for 5 through 1.
Yeah, you're gonna want to stick around for this. Maybe some tears will come out in the podcast.
Oh no.